What is going on, everyone? Hope all of you are doing well. So this is going to be my first video on doing movie recommendations. I'm going to try to do a series where I recommend you a movie that you may have not seen. And if you have, maybe it's a good time to revisit the film. And today's recommendation is going to be a film from the 80s, one of my personal favorites, and has one of my favorite comedians, and that is the film Back to School starring Rodney Dangerfield, which I believe was released in 1986, which was the same year I was born. Now, Rodney Dangerfield, during the 80s and even 90s, he had a lot of great films, a lot of, classics that to this day, people still go and, revisit. Films like this, Rover Dangerfield, he's made cameos in other films like Little Nicky. He's got Ladybugs. I mean, there's just a wide range of stuff. And of course, there's all the stand up, stuff that he's done. And Back to School is just a fun comedy. Basically, he goes to the same college that his son attends and tries to be more closer to his son after his wife cheats on him. I at this point, I don't know how many times he's been married. They do mention that he's been, I think, married a few times, but she cheats on him, and he basically moves into the college, the dorm room, and decides to basically go to college and be closer to his son. Of course, throughout the film, he develops a kind of a crush on one of the professors, um, and just is the light of the party, throws these parties, no pun intended, and just tries to enjoy the college life to its full extent, or to its fullest, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's just a fun, entertaining film, very 80s, which I love. I don't know what it is. I prefer like 80s college comedies more compared to like 90s college comedies. There's just something about college atmosphere in the 80s that I like compared to the 90s. You do have a few familiar faces. I think the actress who plays the love interest for the son, she'd go on to play Jadzia Dax in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. She was also the main lead in Hellraiser 3 Hell on Earth. So it's cool to see her in other films. I don't know what she's been up to since. Um, I don't know if she retired or what, but I've always enjoyed her as an actress. I think she's a talented actress and doesn't get enough credit. The actor who plays Rodney Dangerfield's son, he is in Christine, which is a great Stephen King adaptation. I love that movie, one of my all-time favorites. And then, of course, Rodney Dangerfield, who steals the show. Danny Elfman has a small little cameo. During the 80s, he was in a band, and it has some pretty good hits. Of course, he'd go on to produce music for movies and stuff like that. Excuse me. And then you got Robert Downey Jr. I think in this. Yes, he's in it, and I believe her name is Sam Kinison. I believe she's in this. I think she's the love interest to Rodney Dangerfield, and then you have Ned Beatty and Dean Martin, which is pretty cool. And yeah, and I think Danny Elfman also does the music for this because it does say music by Danny Elfman. So yeah, definitely a great cast, and just a great score or musical artist, whatever you want to call it. But nonetheless, it's definitely one that I recommend. So I figured with the first movie recommendation video, I would go with something a little bit bigger and something that I feel like everybody should at least check out once, and that is Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. Such a fun movie. And I, think you guys will have a good time with this one. It has its moments that are over the top and childish, but they're very funny and entertaining. So, thank you guys for tuning in to my very first movie recommendation. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you take the time to check this movie out. And if you have seen it, definitely revisit the film if it's long overdue, and if you remember a lot from the film, let me know what your thoughts are. But I am Film Talk with Mikey. Till next time, guys, we'll talk films. You guys take care, and I will see you next time.